I would be like, it's Whitrock, and then just like keep rubbing. I'm like, that's just messed up.
Filipino wife. We talked about that. I need. Listen,
Hey, we know it's a
my
nightmare.
dream.
It's got a Caucasian woman next to him in bed. It's a nightmare, though. No, wait, hold up.
No.
Wait, let me get another try. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Jordan Whitrock Show. Look at, we upgraded. We even have a sign now, so you don't forget while watching the show. And today, I am honored to have one of my closest friends. Some might even say my best friend.
No way. No way. Who introduced himself as that? That's crazy.
I don't know. Josh, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Josh Arboleda, and I like to think I'm Jordan Whitrock's best friend. And my life is kind of crazy.
My life's pretty crazy.
My life's pretty
Okay, you know what's
crazy.
funny? So I didn't have your number until like just recently.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
I shouldn't have said that after I said you're one of my best friends. but no. Okay, pretend I didn't say that. Okay, what I was gonna say is I was
Got
like, is it at the end of his last name or O? I'm like Arboledo. I'm like, that just doesn't sound
Arboledo.
right. And then I had to look it up.
No.
And I was like, nope, it's not. I'm like,
No,
it's A.
Arboleda. Arboleda.
Oh, is that what you do for your? Cause you're doing subbing now.
Yeah.
So is that what you do with your? How do you get them to get your name right?
They don't get it. I write it down and they just go Arboleda, and I don't know, it's Arboleda.
That's actually kind of
Yeah.
impressive. That's creativity.
Yeah.
Do you try to take that from them? Build off their creativity with your last name. And
See, here's the thing: is like I suck with names. Like when I'm doing
Oh, yeah.
attendance, I
Same.
go, yeah, and then they just laugh at me because I just suck with like reading their names.
Dude.
And I warn them. I go, hey, just letting you know, I suck with names, so I'm just gonna butcher your names. But as long as I get you down that you're here, it doesn't matter.
Okay, you know
And
what?
so I can't really like be like, oh, you said my last name wrong because I probably butchered their name. So I go Mr. A or Mr.
Oh, yeah,
R. I did like.
Well,
Mr.
I remember we talked about you, and you were like, "They have to. It's my last name. Like it's Mr. Last name." And now it's just Mr. A.
Yeah, well, or Mr. R. Like some. It's crazy. Like I was
Yeah,
talking to like other teachers, and I'm like, oh, like the kids could call me Mr. A or Mr. R, and some
Yeah.
of them were like, huh, that's kind of weird. Why would you go with Mr. R? And it's like,
It
well,
is
that's like
weird.
the first like syllable R. Like of my, like the first. Like if breaking it down,
Yeah.
Arboleda, right? So it just makes sense.
Yeah,
or
but
I
then
could
you're
be
sounding
Mr.
sounding like a pirate though.
That I know that's. The
Are
thing.
you ready?
Are you ready,
know?
kids?
What I was gonna say is on this last name thing.
Uh-huh.
So when I was in high school, like I went to Kiwanis is like an organization that like helps with like events, like charity and that kind of stuff. And
Right.
so my dad was running this event, and it was like a mile or like some like run or whatever,
Yeah, like a marathon.
5K or something like that. And some guy who was reading all the names when they were coming across the line was like, "Hey, I gotta go. Can you like quickly can you just take over for me?" I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, I just got here. I'm just like, I'm part-time worker, like what do we do? And so I have the mic, I got the karaoke machine, and I've got a list of names, and I'm like trying to read their numbers or I think my brother's like down, and he's like screaming the name so that like when they get to the finish line, I like can find them on the list and then read it off. These people and their last names, I was cooked. I couldn't I'm like, I don't know. I don't even have an example, but it'd be like, oh, we have James something. Or I wouldn't say that, but I'd try to get close, and literally like multiple people as they're like finishing crossing the line, passing me, they're like, it's whatever their last name is. I'm like, okay. I'm like a child, and you're mad at me. Like it's not my fault that you were given this weird name.
Congratulations, like Jordan, whatever. You got like 2
Like,
minutes and something.
if I was
on-
coming
yeah,
across
yeah,
it and they were like, oh, coming across the line in like 56th place is Jordan Whitrock, I would be like, okay, like it's not that big of a deal. I wouldn't be like, it's Whitrock, and then just like keep rubbing. I'm like, that's just messed up.
Any of them like stop and just kind of like give you a look and then
Yeah,
like
there
correct
was
you?
like, yeah,
Like they actually stopped?
Honestly, let's be real here. It was mainly the women had a problem with me and how I pronounced their last name. So all the Karens that were running, they were pretty mad at me.
So, but here's the thing though with like child development. Like if you no. Okay, going off of
I
names.
can't
okay,
wait to see how this
going
guy
off of
ties
names,
this
right?
in.
Like I was in a class for like
Yeah.
college or like intro to education or something,
Yep.
and they were talking about how actually like pronouncing a child's name wrong can actually really affect how they view you as a teacher.
Oh, 100%.
Because it makes it seem like you don't actually care about like how to pronounce their name.
Yeah.
So you don't actually like give a crap of like who
Well,
they are.
I
as
would
a
say
person.
like a teacher. And my name is not. I guess my last name. Well, and then like my mom being like superintendent, most people knew what my last name was. So like for
Oh
that
yeah, or
sake-
they get fired.
But I no. No, what I was gonna say is I think most of the time they would have it right, but like other kids are like in like college or whatever, and they would like pronounce it wrong. It's like that doesn't really bother me, but it would be like I could tell that they went home and like actually practiced all of like the names that are maybe a little more challenging than mine, and they'd be like, all right, hey, welcome back to like the second class. This is the most. There was one professor that like literally must have like went home and studied every single name that she either got wrong or whatever, so that when she came that next day, she like had it there ready. And I was like, that I respect it. That's like, I don't have that dog in me.
Yeah. No. See, that's the problem when I become a band director, is I'm gonna
Yeah.
have 100 students that I have to know like first and last names, and that's gonna be
but
tough.
when you have a 4-year, if you're in high school, right? I'm assuming.
Or if I'm in
So
middle school,
really,
like 3
the
or something.
hardest is the first year. Because that's when all the kids are new. And then when you think about it, you push that next year, freshman, sophomore, junior are all coming back. You would already have those names memorized.
Right.
So, and then you'd only have, like, once you get into that cycle, it's like, okay, instead of like 150, like you're saying, it's more like 35 or whatever that new number, which is still a challenge.
It
But
is a
that's like,
challenge.
I don't know. I'm not going to lie. There was still people at college that like, I still don't know their names and I feel bad.
See,
So if you're watching this and maybe I address you as you or something like that, that's on me. I'm sorry.
see, I didn't even know like half of the band people in like our band when we were playing together. I still didn't know.
No,
names.
okay. Well,
Like
let's
in
be.
our band.
I knew most of the brass, except for one guy, and then I didn't know most of the flutes because they just sit on the complete opposite side. Yeah, Josh and I, we went to school together, and we were in the same bands together. Josh is an insane saxophonist. We're gonna start a band together. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Whoa. Well, that's crazy.
No. I
That's
mean, like,
crazy.
yeah,
That's some
it's gonna
shade
be
right there.
great. It's gonna be
Yeah.
great.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Hey,
like,
it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
need to be good as long as it's like I can.
Better.
As long as we do it.
Yeah.
I want to come away with a video of us performing somewhere, and I'm good.
There you go.
And if it's a train wreck, we don't have to ever do it again. But if it's fire, then we keep going. We make a couple bucks here and there. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah. I was talking to speaking of bands, I have a buddy who who plays bass for a band in Milwaukee and whatnot. And so I was asking him just kind of like questions.
How does
of-
that go down?
Yeah, how does that go down? Like who plans it and whatnot? And
Yep.
so it's quite intense. It can be a little intense. Like if you are
Well, if
trying
you go
to
to
find a
yeah.
lot of gigs and whatnot or like doing merch and whatnot.
Well, I would say
you
our
know?
difference is we're probably not gonna have merch.
Oh, for sure.
And we're
No.
probably like gonna just be in this area, and we'd
Yeah.
have a gig twice a month
Right.
max. And there's enough places that like in Green Lake, they're always needing bands and groups, and they always want new things because like those people are so rich.
Oh,
that,
for
like,
sure.
They're like, oh, like I want me some more saxophone or something. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, they're probably from like the 1960s or something.
No, that's
When-
they're like early colonial period.
Oh, yeah.
you know, with the wigs and all that kind of stuff.
Yankee Doodle 1 2 3.
Okay, wait. This is a perfect segue. Okay, so there's this story. I'm gonna tell you this story,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna ask you a question. So the
So
story.
do I need to? Is this like a story where it's like, okay, memorize these facts, and
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
no, no, no.
quiz
This
you?
is
or
a
it's like-
story that's gonna be like you're gonna hear it and you're gonna be like, what?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
right
ready.
here. So there's this kid. He plays football, right? And we'll say he's a running back.
Mm-hmm.
So they snap the ball, hand it off to him. He's running. He gets tackled, hits his head, hits the ground.
Mm-hmm.
He gets back up and he has a concussion,
Mm-hmm.
and so he gets taken out of the game. And then or no, he didn't get a concussion. He just gets taken out of the game, right?
Right.
So they put him back in the game just to make sure. They wanted to make sure he didn't have a concussion. Plays the rest of the game, goes on, graduates high school, goes to college, and then he meets this girl, and then they get married or they get engaged. Then he gets like a job, and it's like his dream job, right?
Right.
And then they get married, and then they have like a kid, and it's like the story is like how he had his life or whatever. And then all of a sudden one day he's sitting on the couch while his kid's in the other room with his wife, and they're playing. He's watching like football,
Right.
And all of a sudden like everything starts getting dark around him, And he's like, what? And then all of a sudden he just hears faintly like his wife being like, hey, like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? And then all of a sudden it goes dark. And then he wakes up and he's on that football field. And it turns out that when he got hit, he literally lived an entire life and then like wakes up on the football field in high school. Like takes him like that whole life he lived never happened.
Yeah.
So what my question is for you is, say you get hit in the head, what life do you think you would live if it would be like, I'm assuming that would be like his dream life, his perfect life, or whatever that is. Like, what would that be for you if you like all of a sudden just woke up?
If I had to choose a different career or something, or was I?
Well, no. It's just like, it's like whatever your perfect life is. Like, what would be that life that you would like wake up and all of a sudden you go through everything and you'd be like, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted, and then it gets taken away from you because you realize it never existed.
Well, I don't care. Well, one thing is
material
value. Material value. That's one thing I want to like address right away, because like for some people, like in that scenario, they care about the material wealth. I don't really care about that. Like, because again, I'm going into teaching, so obviously I don't care.
Well, and you'll wake up without $1 million. So.
Right, exactly. But that's what I mean, though, is that some
which
people,
I think for him was like he had his family, his kid, like
that's
his
what
life
I
was
would want.
and then it's like, dude, imagine like waking up, or like imagine like being with a woman, marrying her, like having a kid, like think of like all that, and then all of a sudden it's just like she never existed.
Yeah.
What?
That's so messed up.
Yeah.
But no, I would. Filipino wife. We talked about that. I need. Listen,
hey, we know it's a nightmare
dream.
if he's got a Caucasian woman next to him in bed. It's a nightmare, no.
This isn't real. This isn't real. No place like home. No place like home. No,
wake up. Start slapping himself.
No, Filipino wife.
Yep.
Filipino kids. Okay. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, imagine.
I don't care about the kids like as much if they're Filipino or not. I could adopt. Listen, adoption exists. I'd be concerned if my wife birthed like a white baby. That might be a concern.
Yeah, I was about to say, how would it not be?
Oh yeah. Everyone, Josh is also here. He's running the cameras and stuff like that. We also realized last podcast that I had a weird setting on, and so our transitions were kind of sus. But we figured out how to fix it. So hopefully we're cutting normal. Josh, can you clarify if we're cutting normal?
Yeah, we're good. There's no weird dissolved transitions anymore. We're moving past. Yeah. Oh, by the way, was that the lamp story where like the guy looks at the corner and like he sees a lamp and then that kind of is that what that was based on?
You know what's interesting? There's a movie. It's called Somewhere in Time, and that's a really good movie. It's an older movie, but like if you like not older, it's like say like 90s maybe, something like that. Like that's when it came out. But it's about this guy who he's an actor or something, or no, he's a playwright. He writes his play. It's like at the end of college or whatever, and it's like that's where it starts. And then all of a sudden, this like elderly woman comes up, and she's like, "Come back to me." And then he's like, "What the?" Yeah, he's like, "What?" And then she like walks away, right? And then he's like, and then it's like 3 years later, and he's like in a writing slump where it's like after that success, he doesn't know what he's gonna do, and he goes to like this place, and he looks in this portrait. And then he sees like this woman in this picture of like this hotel that's like whatever. Mm-hmm. And he's like, that's that old woman that said, "Come back to me." Turns out so like throughout the story or whatever, you find out that so then he figures out how to time travel because he's like obsessed with this woman, but like the younger version, not the older one, obviously. And so he figures out how to time travel.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
No. This isn't the spoiler. I'm not going to spoil it. So he time travels into like back then to like when that hotel, like when she was there. And I'm not going to leave it, but it's a pretty fire movie. It's called Somewhere in Time. That's got to be one of my all-time favorite movies, probably.
I gotta watch more movies. My pop culture, like, it's not as good as I'd like it to be.
Yeah.
In fact, like I had a recommendation. I was referencing like, "Oh, hi, Mark," like today in class or something, because like one kid was like hitting another student, and then
and that was your reaction to it. You're like, "Oh, hi, Mark."
No, but no, it was like one student was hitting another student, quote unquote, and then the band director I was eating lunch with, he was like, "Hey, don't hit other students, and then the guy's like, I didn't hit her. I'm like, I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. And I referenced that. And the kids knew, like they.
Oh, okay. As long as the kids knew,
they knew what.
I thought you were about to say the kids were like, "Oh, that's like 6 years ago." Like what?
Well, the band director doubted that. He didn't think they knew, but I didn't know what it was a reference from.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know. Do you know what this is from? All right, John, explain it to us.
Yeah, so it's a movie called The Room.
Yep.
Oh. And it's made by Tommy Wiseau, and it's considered one of the worst movies of all time.
So I have to watch it.
You have to watch. It's like a cult classic movie. Write that down. I haven't seen it either, but I know all the things from it.
I just know the high mark. It's like, oh, hi, Mark.
Yeah,
I remembered that.
Oh, hi, Mark.
There's also a movie based on how it's made called The Disaster Artist. That's also pretty good. Okay. But, I mean, I think James Franco's in it, and he's... No, that's not the right guy. I forgot who it was, but there's some controversial guy in it. But that's about what the movie's on, so... Okay.
That would also be my perfect life, by the way. Living that, hitting a woman and being like, I did not. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it was supposed to be some like emotional thing, and then in the theaters, everyone started laughing at it and like cheering.
They started cheering.
No, they started because I think in the end he like kills himself or like tries to kill himself. And people are just like baffled by this movie, so they start laughing. And then he's like, "Oh, yep, you're right, guys. This was a comedy movie." So it's a crazy story.
That gives me like Napoleon Dynamite vibes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's like a Hollywood poof of it too, or something, or like like where they just do that same film or something, but just make it funnier.
That sounds. That's crazy.
Yeah. But anyways, back to like if I were to like have a concussion and live a life, I would.
Would you be a musician?
I think I would be like a world-class musician.
I was gonna say a performer though, instead of a teacher. You can still do that. It's not. You don't have to be. It doesn't have to be a dream, Josh.
See,
lock in.
I think I know where my limitations are as a musician.
Really?
Yeah.
Me too.
I'm not as passionate, like compared to like actual professional musicians.
See, that's where I feel like yeah.
I'm passionate.
Are you talking about like orchestra though? Like the Chicago
like,
Symphony or something like that?
No. I'm talking about like people that like actually like perform,
go grind and like
go around and tour. Like my limitations as a musician is passion. Like I'm passionate about teaching and like I love music and teaching and making sure like guiding like students to like be good musicians. But me myself, I am not.
What instruments do you play?
Well, I play saxophone, but I can play like flute, clarinet, trumpet, trombone.
Do you only play alto, or do you play?
I play alto.
Yeah. What else do you play?
Tenor.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Barry, right?
I play Barry for concert. I played it 1 year for jazz, and that was so fun.
Tenor or
Barry?
Barry.
Yeah.
What year was that?
Not in college, just in high school.
You. Okay, I was gonna say. I was like, I don't.
Like how you play tenor sax or something.
Dude, yeah, we pulled that video. No, we'll not pull that video.
Where you were reading that book or something, and you're
no. Okay, no, that was no. That's actually a go-to video.
No, it was a
that
good
one's
one.
hidden on the internet. You guys are gonna have to do some digging to find that one. But, yeah, no. Okay. My next question for you. Is. Wait, actually, I forgot what my question was. But it's okay because at some point I was gonna break in there and I was gonna just I was gonna do an ad read.
This is brought to you by.
Oh, never mind. That's not that good of an idea.
It's not that good of an idea.
Unless you want to talk about Russia being the main front in World War II.
I don't know.
It's the main
crazy
theater.
Switch up.
Dude, I've been watching so many documentary stuff. Okay.
Is that why you wanted
before
to
we
play...
go into yeah, probably, honestly. No, you know what? That's facts because I was literally watching a World War I documentary about the trenches. It was actually really interesting. But then they got into like the actual trench warfare, and I was like, oh, I kind of liked the setting up the theater of like war, and all those kind of things.
It's always the setting up to war that is always interesting.
Do you watch the YouTube channel Oversimplified?
No.
Do any of you guys watch it?
Is that like oversimplified history and whatnot? Like,
dude, no, it's just really. Dude, the guy is so clever. Okay, you have to watch it. They're like really short. Well, I think they're a little longer now, but
okay.
What were you saying?
Yeah, they're about half an hour.
Yeah.
Long.
But he just released the third one in a series. It literally takes him a year to put out a video. But it's like all like this really funny animation, and I don't know. It's like, and you actually learn. It's funny, like his stuff like on the Civil War's got like 50 million views and stuff like people actually use it to like learn. But he tells it in a funny way with cartoons. Anyway, he just released one for the Second Punic War, I think, Which I'm trying to think. Or are there 3 Punic Wars, which is like Rome? It was Rome versus Carthage, with like Hannibal going through the mountains with the elephants and stuff like that.
I'm not a big history buff, so it might not be. I'm not gonna lie. You're asking
what are you,
the
a
wrong guy
musician?
about.
No,
Well, no. Here's the thing with music history, that's different.
All right.
You know?
Let's talk about how jazz was created.
How jazz was created? Yeah, we could. if you know.
I got my lesson in high school.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that
started in the fields.
Well, you know what's interesting is not the history of like how jazz was created. That is interesting in on its own.
Yeah.
What's interesting is the evolution.
I would say the evolution
jazz.
of it.
Right. Because that's how.
What's your favorite period of jazz?
Even though I can't play it, bebop. Bebop.
Who's like the biggest bebop that I would know?
I'm
trying to think of like a song or something like that.
John Coltrane was no, not John. John Coltrane was after bebop. He was kind of around there. I think John Coltrane is a bebop artist.
But like, what year is that? What year is like bebop the top?
1950s, I want to say.
That's after big band, right?
It's
so
after,
is that when like the soloists start to be like, hey, I'm better than you?
It's kind of more like
where they like start competing, and that's where you get the crazy soloists like Miles Davis and all that stuff.
Well, with bebop, what happened is there was more exploration with chord changes and like notes. Like it was more like there was
era.
Because here's the thing with early jazz, right? You know, you had a lot of Creole musicians that didn't have much music training, and so they would, you know, solo, but they wouldn't really understand like why it works, or, you know.
That's me.
So, but like, here's the thing: is like So then when bebop came around, there was more like understanding of the theory, and like it was more modal. I think it was cool jazz was like after it. I think before bebop was like big band.
I was gonna say big band was because that would have been the 40s.
Yeah,
with like World War II. You get Glenn Miller in the Mood and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Marty's gonna be upset with me if I get this all wrong.
I'll make sure to send him the link. Right. So then we go bebop, and then when does like Miles Davis take over?
Miles takes over like.
Is that 70s or 80s?
That's around the.
No, that's 60s.
That's during cool jazz era, and also when fusion started. So around the 70s.
What do we got? 70s. When is his what's his album? The Blues?
Blue Note.
Blue Note. Oh, that was pretty good. That pulled up Blue.
Yeah, you pulled up Blue.
Dude, I remember in high school, my teacher was like, "Hey, like, we're gonna do what is it? What's the one where you listen to it? Transcribe it or transpose? Transcribe it.
Transcribe is when you
just listen to it. And I got a Miles Davis song. I'm like, oh, I'm cooked. I actually got the first like few like page memorized, and then I was like,
see, that's such a tough thing to just throw to kids.
Yeah, I remember locking myself in a room and just listening to it on repeat and just being on my trumpet and going or whatever the song was, and I'm like, I can get one more note and the first note goes out the window. Yeah. Like I can't take any more information.
It's interesting how jazz has evolved with like how it's taught and whatnot.
Gotcha.
Because now, not a lot of kids listen to jazz anymore, and so because of that, they don't have like an ear for how swing is, like how swing should sound, or like how you should play melodic lines.
Give us a swing line. I got you.
See, right now is way too straight.
Yeah.
But like,
see, my problem is I swing too much actually, which is weird that you're talking about that. My problem is I don't play straight enough.
It's an overcompensation.
Yeah.
Because when you aren't used to something, you overcompensate it, and then you don't like. Nobody tells you how to find the middle ground, right? It's weird. Like for good jazz, it's like not even eighth notes, but it's not do va, but it's do va voo va voo va voo va voo va voo va voo va. And so,
because my problem is I always, and it's because so when I sing I use a lot of vibrato. So when I play my trumpet, I taught myself subconsciously to use vibrato all the time for my trumpet. So like playing straight is actually like insane because like at least vibrato for me when I swing is really easy.
Yeah.
But then it's like now let's try not to use vibrato, or like try to, and it's like it just doesn't work. It's just that, like, I remember that was my last semester of trumpet lessons at Oshkosh. It was just like a fight to like stop it.
But before you'd like, it wasn't an issue, but now it was.
Well, it's like I could hide.
Oh.
And then it's like, because you do a solo, or you'd just be like obvious that you're like, whether it be in band or like in symphonic, where it's in your group, it's like your trumpet one, awesome, you get a solo, but it's like, because you have that solo and the expectation's higher, it's just like when I vibrato everything, it's like, all right, this guy got skill, or he's just covering up all of his mistakes.
It's so tough, like with like classical singing or something, or when you're like doing a solo, like trying not to do vibrato and whatnot, or like making sure the vibrato isn't too annoying.
Yeah, I just got some PTSD about soloing and singing. Okay, continue.
Are you reference to episode 1?
Yeah, if you haven't already, go check out episode 1. It's gonna be pinned in one of these corners. Oh, that's so funny.
No, but I was taking a voice class, and last semester, and I think my whole understanding of singing was flipped on its head.
In a good way or a bad way?
Bad way.
Yeah.
Like, I thought my tone wasn't too dark. Like, when I sing, apparently it's like really dark and like really back, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Like, it kind of sounds.
No, push your mic away and give us a hit.
Hang on. Oh, Shenandoah. Like, that's how I would sing, right? Like,
okay.
Little...
Before.
But now, like, because it would be swallowed back. Like, I was thinking, like, oh, if I'm singing in like choir and whatnot, and I need to sound more mature, so I need to sound a little bit more swallowed back. But that's a good start, but it's not really where you want the placement to be. And so like my whole semester was trying to fight that placement.
Did you ever find it?
No.
Yeah,
I'm still finding.
I never found my placement too. I just like, I remember they'd be like, "You're using too much throat. Use the top." I literally had a teacher in high school. He used some questionable methods in teaching his students how to become better vocalists. But it was him and I in a room, and I just like, I use too much throat, especially like now sometimes I can get away from the
What?
I don't know what you were doing. Sometimes I can get away from like the like throatiness of the voice.
Yeah.
But like before that's what it was. And the guy literally like he's like, lay on your back, and I was laying on my back on the ground, and he steps on me, and he's like, all right, I want you to inhale, and he stepped on me to force all the air out of my stomach, and then like he's like, now I need you to like focus on the top. I don't think it actually did anything, but it definitely helped me like breathing wise, but like it didn't help my vocals to.
I don't recommend stepping on.
That's what I'm saying. He used some questionable methods, but hey, you know what? Actually, I can't even say that, because that's the guy who gave me the "Luck Be Lady Tonight" song, and that did not cook, which we know. So
see, I think what he was trying to do, and he was trying to make you support with your diaphragm and whatnot,
to not have it collapse on me.
Yeah, exactly. And I did it with at Oshkosh with Dr. Krieger, right? And he actually used a yoga ball. Oh. Like, we were actually like, he made me hug a yoga ball and actually like push it against me, so I can feel myself, like how much support I actually need to give him. Whatnot.
Yeah. Well, and then I had a separate vocal teacher like recently, and she did the obvious hand thing, and then she put her hand on my stomach and was like forcing it into like, this is how to get all of the air out to like fill up the notes. And she had done stuff on Broadway or whatever, right. So it was like, yeah, I believe you, like I trust you or whatever. But like, I think my breathing's definitely better than it was before. But like the throatiness, like sometimes when I'm driving in the car and I'm just jamming out, and like all of a sudden I'll be hitting those high notes, and I'm like, oh, but it's not hurting my throat because like I have it. Yeah. But I don't know how to take that out of my car, so that's my problem with that.
I think it's just because you're more relaxed. Maybe.
Oh, I think also I sing way louder, and it's like it's easier to do it when you sing, or at least for me, it's easier to not use the throat when I sing louder.
It's because you're supporting your air. If you're singing loud, if you feel like you're hitting the notes and you're singing really loud to do it, it's because you're giving enough support to do so. So you need to figure out how to.
And that's the same thing with my trumpet. Is I never gave it enough support, and then when I finally did, they'd be like, "Oh, it's the best." Well, and also my trumpet was like from 5th grade. I had my trumpet through like 5th grade to senior year of college. Yep. And I 5th yeared a half a semester, so it's like I had that thing forever. But I remember I gave it to my professor because he was like, "Hey, let me try it," and he's like, "Try mine," and I was like. with his, and I was like, wow, that's different. But I was like, hey, this one got me here. I'm not spending money on another one, but
why not?
I'm not gonna use it unless we start our band, which takes us right back to where we started.
where we just no. Speaking of like singing and like voice teachers, have you've seen that TikTok trend?
No, what's your?
You haven't?
Raise your It's the raise your
Raise your ya.
No, wait. Let me do it with me. Do it with me. All right. No. Here we go. I'm ready.
It's so stupid.
No. I'm gonna lock in. Here
so.
Me mama.
So here's what the singer was doing. They were going, raise your right finger or something, and it's just they weren't hitting the note. But then it was then the voice teacher was like making them open up and go, raise your ya or something. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you know what that reminds me of? Dude, it's my goated. I have only one. Actually, I have two impressions. My first one is actually one of them is an actual impression. The other one is just one. You know Mike Wazowski from the
Yeah.
So yeah, this is my Mike Wazowski impression. and then because I grew up in a family with two older sisters, I watched all the Barbie movies. And then I don't know if you ever watched Mariposa or like The Fairy, whatever. There's one. Okay, there's this guy, this character is named Bibbles. Do we know what this is?
I know who Bibble is.
You know who Bibble is. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Anyway, I have a good impression of Bibble. All right, here we go. No, wait, hold up.
No.
Wait, let me get another try. Let me get a try. Wait, I need you to warm up. Wait, what is it? Point your finger and then say it?
No.
Raise your finger.
Raise your right finger.
Okay. Raise your right finger. Yeah. Like that?
No. So the lyric is raise your right finger, but then the voice teacher was saying raise your ya.
Oh, okay, wait. Okay.
Sorry, I'm way too close.
Raise your ya. You see, I go falsetto. That's the problem. Yeah. I'm not opening up.
It's for a girl anyway. Yeah, but also it works for guys too. It depends.
You could have told me that.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a female.
I wanted to embarrass you.
I got the XY. Dude, I saw something and it was like a YouTube video or something. Yeah. And like obviously this was like completely different, but it was talking about like XY or like this is why you should do this X and Y. And I was like that, but first I like read it as like XY chromosome and I was like, what is this? And then I didn't click it, but then I put it together. I was like, oh, like math or something like that was like the problem or whatever. But yeah. No.
So what's your Bibble impersonation?
Oh yeah, we gotta go back to it. All right.
That's why we were.
I was trying to swerve.
No, because here's the thing. Yeah. I'm giving you a redemption because
I got you. Wait,
I gotta turn away from the mic.
I gotta do it. Oh, you got one too?
Not a Bibble.
Oh, okay. Wait. I'm gonna put the microwave so I can practice. Wait. Okay. And we're back. All right. Here we go. I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah, that's good.
And then when he eats the berry and he gets that, oh yeah, baby. I'll put a clip in there.
Watching that as a kid, I felt it was crazy. Like I still remember that.
Reminded me of something. Okay, continue though.
Yeah, but no, I can do one impersonation, and I did it one, and I did it. It was so funny. I did it for karaoke. I was singing what was I singing? Bee Gees, Staying Alive.
Oh yeah.
I was singing Staying Alive, and I was doing my Toad impersonation.
Oh yeah. So you do have a good Toad. Yeah. All right, run it.
Mario, we gotta say Peach.
Wait, that doesn't sound. That last one is like, who's the one that like? Isn't that like Wario or Luigi?
Wario is like wah 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 wah.
See, I was not that much of a Nintendo. We didn't have technology growing up.
I think my wahs is pretty good. My wah wah wahs.
Dude, you know what that reminded me of? That reminded me of. You ever play Lego Star Wars?
Yes.
You remember when R2-D2 dies and that brother just screams like that? I remember Isaac and I were stuck. My brother Isaac, we were just stuck on a level, and you only get a certain amount of gas for him to fly to the other section.
Yeah.
Either we were leaving too soon or something like that. Yeah. Brother, every time right before he gets to the ledge, we'd be like, oh, he's gonna make it, and then all of a sudden you just hear, and he like dies, and I'm like, oh, we were just stuck there for eternity. But Yeah. Okay, that reminded me of a question.
Yeah, question.
All right, so you were famous as a child. You were on
Oh,
television.
yeah.
You were on television. Your house got hit by a plane, correct?
No. No.
Okay.
That is not what happened.
Okay. Tell the people what happened. Why are you famous? Television famous.
My family is television famous.
Oh,
I
true,
myself.
True.
You want to know how many times I appeared on that episode? Like
how many times?
Twice.
Hey, that's 2 times more than me.
And it was 2 lines. It was Sonic Josh and me yelling Aya. Like doing like karate punches.
That's gotta be racist.
No, because okay, so I was a part of Extreme Makeover Home Edition.
Okay,
which was the famous ABC show where they took like families in need and gave them a new house or something. So my family applied for that. Did
something happen to your old house or no?
Yeah, it actually got torn down.
Okay.
Like they actually took like they like wrecked the in.
Like they did it before, or you knew you were getting a new house. They did it.
No, we
explain.
So here's what happened.
Yeah. Starts from the top.
Have you never seen Extreme Makeover Home Edition?
I've seen it before, but
so like there's obviously like a surprise, like, hey, like, hey, this is Ty Pennington or something, like, hello Arboleda family or something like that, right? And so they do that, and then that's where we know, oh crap, our house is getting destroyed. You know, like,
oh, so they show up to your house.
So they show. Well, here's what happened.
Yeah.
There was my dad was he does a thing called Move to the Groove. It's like like his company where he like goes to schools and like has them get active and whatnot and makes them dance for like any event or something.
That's cool.
So he was doing that. He had a theme song, and so the theme song played, and a flash mob happened. And after the whole flash mob happened, then we heard
in the neighborhood.
No, it was at a farmer's market.
They just surprise attacked you?
They were like, hey, the producers were like, hey, can we record you like going to a farmer's market? Just that would be good for like the show and whatnot. Like, you know how producers are and whatnot. So then they take us to the farmer's market, and we're like looking around, you know, like any other farmer's market, you know. And we haven't gone back since. No, I'm just kidding.
Can't afford another flash
And
mob.
then you hear do 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 do, and then it's like, oh, that's the theme song. And then somebody starts dancing, and then like everybody started dancing.
Okay.
And then we recorded that like 10 more times. Anyway.
Damn, dude, 10 times?
That's
tough. That's tough.
Anyways, but then that's when we found out, oh, we're on the show. Oh, our house is getting destroyed.
Oh, so you didn't know you were on the show yet?
Yeah, no, that they wanted to surprise the family. So was there like 3 families that they were going to pick from? That's the thing. We don't know how the process works, but it's like you go through a huge interview thing. Okay. Like they want to know.
Did they come to you or did you go to them?
We applied, and then they reached out to us.
So what happened to your old house? Did they tear it down, or it was already like torn down by something else, and then you applied, kind of thing?
No. It wasn't torn down. It was like fine. It was really old, small, dusty, like over 100 years old.
Did they break it and say like? Oh,
yeah, they like.
Did they do it on purpose? And then they're like, see, this family's been living in this house with a hole in the wall, you know? And they had like.
No, they like saw like they looked at the house first, like just to see how we were living and whatnot.
Yep.
And then like they were like, oh man, this family of 7 lives in a really small home and whatnot, and like we could like make this family like so then they like have a wrecking crew go inside the house just for televised wrecking to like break down the walls or something, like do whatever and whatnot, kick out the ceiling or something.
There's always like a hammer to a wall.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's funny because my dad was, doing Move to the Groove, and so they had a guy called Derek Huff who was with Dancing with the Stars. So they had a bunch of Dancing with the Stars people join in on the wreckage. So they were like doing dance moves to like kick out the ceiling or like put holes in the wall. And then after all that, then they took like a crane or something. What is that called? When you have the one where it has like a huge claw, but they like tore down the whole house. Yeah.
Got you.
And then they built it in 5 days.
That's impressive. Is that the house you live in today?
Yep.
That's pretty fire.
Still there.
Is it kind of like you would never move because it was built for you? Like, and that's like obviously a job or something took you, or not your family.
I would like to stay in the area, but I don't know if I would live in that house.
Yeah.
Like, when I go, like, have a family and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like,
what's the address? So if they want to check it, no, I'm just kidding.
They probably could look it up in all
Okay,
honesty.
so nothing happened to the house. You just got chosen. They tore it down. And rebuilt it in 5 days.
Yeah.
How long were you filming?
We went to Florida, so
did they give you a paid vacation?
Yeah, it was a paid.
Oh, that's kind of dope.
So that's what they do. They take
you to Disney?
Yeah.
So you were in Disney with the film crew as well?
Yeah. So
what was your favorite ride when you were there? How old were you?
3rd grade to like 10.
Okay.
It's like
So it's like
13
prime
years ago.
Disney World or Land? Florida World. So
Florida, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know like why they were named the way they were. Have you? Did you?
No. What is it?
So like Disney World, Orlando is OR, like, Orlando, Florida. So
and LA
OR,
is.
and then Disneyland.
That's
LA.
what. Is that why, or is that just like a coincidence? You think?
I think that's why they named it that way.
That's
I think
crazy.
that might be a coincidence, like just to make it
All
different.
right, Josh, look this up. We gotta look this up. We need
But
to
that's
know.
what somebody pointed that out. I'm like, oh, that's how I remember them now because I always mix the two up.
Yeah, no, it's. I love. Okay, I'm not. I don't want to be a Disney adult, but like I appreciate Disney World.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm not someone that's gonna dress up as a costume. And it's like one of those things where it's like every 10 years I'd like to go, 5 years. Well, the thing too is I have a friend down there who's working, and so she gets free tickets. So it's kind of like now would be the time to like go to Disney because otherwise you can never afford it.
You wouldn't want to be Gaston.
But have you seen these biceps? That's not happening. And that was my left arm, so it was even worse.
But you show your right arm.
Yeah. Ow.
Okay, so yeah, Josh.
Yeah.
Josh
Okay, what?
was correct with that.
That's crazy.
Disneyland, located in California, the name includes the letters LA for Los Angeles. And then Walt Disney World, located in Florida, the name includes the letters ORL for
You know what's
Orlando.
crazy? I always thought that it was because Disneyland only has one park, right?
That's a good question.
I want to say it has one park, and
'cause I
while
know,
Disney
obviously-
World has
The
4
one in
parks.
Florida, yeah.
And so that's why I assumed it was World because it's like it has everything, whereas all the other parks in the other countries only have like Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
Or like the equivalent of Magic Kingdom kind of thing.
There's 2 parks in Disneyland.
Oh, wait, what are they? Is it one like Adventureland or something like that?
Yeah, Disney California Adventure Park.
That's
and
actually that's
Disneyland
kind of
Park.
goated, bro.
So-
I'm on fire.
I think you are a Disney adult.
I got
I'm not
blue
gonna lie.
and adventure. Sweet, yeah. No, I mean,
you can work up to it. You know, you just take a lot of training to be a guest on, and you know.
yeah, dude, it's actually kind of insane in like the process of becoming someone who works there. So you can, there's 2 tracks. You either become an actor or you become just like a worker. And there's like, I guess like actors get like the bougie, like they're the ones respected. They don't respect anyone else. They respect the actors. The actors are like, hey, it's too hot, we're not going out. They don't go out. Like, it's too wet, we're not going out. They're not going out. Like, they get like to say, but it's really hard to. And then what they do is your first time you get there, you get like a face character or a masked character, so that you like just hide. So like you're Mickey or you're like something like that, where it's like you don't actually see you sweat your ass off just because it's so hot down there in like something that some other dude probably just wore 5 minutes ago, you know, who had bad BO and didn't, you know, take a shower or something like that. So you're really suffocating to death. And then once you like make it through there and don't die, you get the opportunity, if there's a character that's like resembles you, to do that. But those rules are so strict of like what you can do and can't do.
Right.
Yeah, there's like a college Disney thing too, where it's like you can apply as a college student, go down there, and I've just heard that's not it because you're just working like concessions or something.
So it depends because that's what my friend does. She went down there, but you can choose between like a theme park, concessions, restaurant, like which one you want to do.
Right.
And then you can apply to be the acting, but that one's really hard to get into. So she did theme park, but she got Jungle Cruise, which is weird that Jungle Cruise is in theme park because if you think about it, those captains are like talking the entire time. They're like, they're telling the story of your route and stuff like that. Like they're acting the entire time. Yeah. So she basically got to act the entire summer instead of like being concessions or something like that, or like a shop, or like being someone that just pushes go on a ride and then stop on the ride, where like, like that would be sick. I think when she left, they like changed it because it's not considered an acting because it's still like a ride or amusement ride, but it's like in its own category now, which is kind of interesting. But
yeah, my buddy does that Disney.
Okay,
college.
what does he do?
I don't know actually. Wow. I know he's just there.
And you call him a buddy.
Well, I say, we chat. See, here's the thing. I'm really bad at remembering details. Like, I don't remember what college my sister goes to down in California.
Okay, no, that's actually sus. What? Like, you can't. No.
No, I'm
in
serious.
his defense,
Like,
there's so many colleges in California.
and it's like a weird name too, so I don't actually remember.
All right, give us a try. Give us a shot. Let's give it a shot.
No,
We've been talking about names and trying our bestest. Let's run it. Let's run
I
it.
actually don't know the name.
run
That's
it.
the thing, because it's a weird name. So
But
I'm
like,
not
you
gonna
have to have an
remember it.
idea. I bet you could picture it. Not that you're gonna say it right.
No, I'm not gonna attempt.
How many letters?
What? See, if I don't even remember the name, how can I remember the letters?
See, the thing with like our area is we've got Oshkosh, and then in Fond du Lac they have Moraine Technical Park College or whatever.
MPTC.
Yep. And then they
Moraine
have
Park.
Marion. And my sister went to both of them. So like I would always get them wrong, which like I shouldn't. I'm an adult. It's, you know. But it's like I always was like as someone would be like, "So where's she at?" And I'd be like, "I think it's this one." Like, but in my head, I wouldn't say that out loud.
I don't even know where my
I'm a
sister
male.
lives.
I'm confident even if I'm wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Those studies are crazy. Those like when you like, I don't know. There's a study that says like guys don't want to be wrong. So like think back to your classrooms, right?
Yeah,
The teacher asks a question, who's raising their hand? Most likely it's a guy, even if he's wrong, but he's confident in his answer because just guys have a false confidence in them. Just like me starting this shit. No, I'm just kidding. No, but like for me, I'm pretty confident in the sense of like I'll like throw something out, but there's a good chance it could be wrong. Whereas like a woman will like think through it more and be like, even if she knows what the answer is, she's like gonna make sure that it's right before she would like blurt something out, you know?
Yeah.
So there's more thought process to it, which is just interesting. I think when I think of like me and growing up or like other people that I'm friends with or whatnot, you know?
You think you have a lot of false confidence?
No, it's all real confidence, and that's the false confidence talking. All right. Well, Josh, it was a blast to have you on this episode. I don't even know how long we went. Josh, what do we tally?
This says 50 minutes, but I did start recording a little early, so
That's
probably
true,
about
that's true.
45.
Dude, okay, that's W. That's W.
There you go.
Hey, we got to leave you guys wanting more of Josh. You know. So, Josh, thank you so much for coming on the pod.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see. Maybe you'll be a recurring guest, co-host. We'll see what happens in the future. I'm down for either. So.
We'll see.
All right. Cool.
And I'm out of water, so that's perfect.
That's
timing,
perfect.
Too. That's great.
All right. See you, everyone. Have a good rest of your life. Peace.
Rest of your life. It's done after this.